everyone, and welcome back to Facts Fan, my station all about family and consumer sciences and home and career skills. Today I'm going to show you how to make lasagna roll-ups. Alright, first thing you're going to do is fill a pot with hot water. Okay, put it on one of your burners that it fits onto. Put some salt in there. Cover it with a top and set the burner to high. And when it comes to a boil, that's when you're going to add your lasagna noodles. So the next thing that I'm going to do is prepare my vegetables. So I'm going to be making a vegetable lasagna, and I'm going to be putting grated carrot in it, some pepper, and some spinach. So I need to wash my produce first before I cut it up. Okay, so I'm just going to run cool water over them. You can also use a veggie brush on them if there's any dirt or pretty much anything else on them that you want to clean off. Alright, first I'm going to peel my carrot with a peeler. And I'm just going to peel away from myself and take off the top layer of skin. Okay, and go the opposite way. Go. And then I'm going to grate the carrot just on this fine part of the grater. So just be careful when you're grating the carrot. It's slippery and you don't want to slip your hand down and cut yourself on the grater. And then so you're going to need, so I'm doubling this recipe today, so I'm going to do about 4 tablespoons, and this whole carrot should be enough. Otherwise I can always get more carrot. You can always add more or less if you want in your recipe too. Alright, so that should be good. Get that off of there. Okay, so I'll put this in my bowl. Right over here. Okay, and next I'm going to cut up my pepper. I'm going to take off the top first. And then I'm going to basically pull out the guts, I guess you could say. Make sure there's no seeds in there. Okay. There we go. And then I'll show you a little closer up what to do. Okay, so I'm going to cut the pepper in half. Then I'm going to cut it into strips. Just like this. Alright, and then I will turn the strips and cut those into even finer pieces. So just a rough dice. And just make sure you keep your fingers away while you cook or cut. Like that. And then I'll add these to my bowl. Okay. Alright, my pot's boiling nice. So just careful when you take the top off. I lift it towards myself so the steam can go away. Alright, so you can leave the top off now. I'm going to open up my box of lasagna. And I'm doubling this recipe like I said, so I'm going to put in 8 noodles. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. And according to the box, it's going to take about 8 to 9 minutes to boil. So I'm going to boil them for at least 9 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer for 9 minutes. Oop. And just to let you know, you're going to stir them once in a while. Okay, for the spinach, I'm going to do a couple handfuls of spinach. Okay. if you're using a paring knife, I suggest stacking the leaves on top of each other like this. Okay, and then taking your paring knife and just slicing them into strips. Okay. Otherwise, it's even easier to use a chef's knife. Whoops. And just roughly chop them up like this. So if your parents are okay with you using one or they want to help with this part, you can roughly chop them up with a chef's knife. It's a lot faster than using the paring knife. Okay, so I'm going to keep cutting these up for a little bit longer. Okay, so there we have our spinach all chopped up. Pretty good. Add that to my bowl as well. Okay. So since there's pepper in this, or sweet peppers, I'm going to cook this in the microwave with a damp paper towel over it for about a minute, just to cook it a little bit. All right. So I'm gonna get some paper towels and dampen them a little bit. Put it over top my vegetables. There we go. And I'm just gonna cook it in the microwave for about a minute. While I'm over here, I'm gonna stir my noodles with a wooden spoon. And you wanna stir them because starch is leaching off of them into the water and they're gonna make the noodles sticky. So you don't want them to stick together or to the bottom of the cooking pot. Okay, so stir it once in a while. There you go. All right, so there's that. Next I'm going to do or measure different kinds of cheese. Okay, so first I'm gonna do ricotta cheese. So I have mozzarella and Parmesan cheese. All right, so for the Parmesan cheese, I'm actually gonna do 3 tablespoons, but the recipe says 2 tablespoons. Actually, I'm gonna do 4 tablespoons because I'm gonna double it. So 1, and I'm just filling the spoon and shaking it till it's level. 2, 3, 4. So the nice thing about cooking is you don't have to be as exact as baking. You can put basically how much you want of any ingredient in your food. And it doesn't say in the recipe, but I'm also going to put a handful of the mozzarella in the filling here too. Okay, for the ricotta cheese, you're going to need a dry measuring cup and a rubber scraper. So I'm going to do 1 cup of ricotta. So I'm going to fill this dry measuring cup with the cheese until it's pretty full. You can level the top if you want, but you can just pretty much fill it till it's full. Okay? And then use the rubber scraper to scrape out filling. Great. Here we go. There's that. And I'm going to do about 2 big pinches of dried oregano. So 1, 2. And 2 big pinches of garlic powder. Let me put it in my hand. I'll do 1 and 2. 2 big pinches. And I think I'll do at least 1 pinch of salt. Okay, next I need eggs. Great, so my timer just went off. I'm gonna turn this off. Get a couple pot holders, and I'm gonna put a colander in my sink. Okay, let me just double check. Okay, so I'm gonna use my pot holders and drain this slowly into my sink. There we go. And set this on a cool burner. Don't set it back on the hot burner because it can scald the bottom of the pan. Okay. Now I'm gonna crack open my eggs. Oops. And that's why I do it in a separate dish, just in case I get any shells into the bowl. Okay, throw that out. then I'm gonna wash my hands. And then I'm gonna whisk them with a fork a little bit. Add it to my bowl and stir it all together. Okay. So I'm just gonna carefully stir it together while you bring it closer. All right. Stir until it's all mixed together to your liking, and then we'll fill our lasagna roll-ups. Okay. All right, so I'm going to rinse the noodles with some cool water first. Okay, that way they'll be a little easier to touch. They won't be so hot and they won't stick together so much. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to lay out my noodles on my cutting board. Okay. That. I'm going to blot them with a paper towel so they're not so slippery. Okay, and I'm going to use a spoon. Going to spoon on the filling and just spread it out onto the noodle, just like this. Okay, then I'm gonna roll it up. So when you roll it up, make sure you lift and roll, because if you roll and push, it's gonna push out the filling. So lift and roll. Then you're gonna put it in a microwave safe dish, like this one. A little bit fell out. Okay, so I'll show you a little closer. All right, so like I said, I am filling the noodles and using the back of the spoon to spread out the filling. Here we go. Right, and then I'm gonna roll. So lift and roll, lift and roll. Okay, and put them in a circle around this pat. All right, so now I'm gonna put some sauce on top of them. Spoon it on. And then I'm going to put the top on and cook them in the microwave for about 5 to 6 minutes. Okay. Right. 6 minutes. So now, top. If there's a lot of liquid in the bottom, you can always use a baster to get it out of there too. All right, so I'm going to cover each one with mozzarella cheese. Okay, and I like lots of cheese. And I'm gonna put it back in the microwave oven to melt the cheese for about a minute or a minute and a half. You could also bake these too. I'm just not sure how long they would take to bake. Oh, we could look that up on the internet. All right, so I'm gonna put this back in the microwave for about a minute and a half. Okay, I'm gonna leave the top off of it this time. I'll start with 1 minute and see how it does. All right, and here's the final product, everyone. Bon appetit. Thanks again, everyone, for joining me at my station. and watching me make lasagna roll-ups. I hope you enjoy them, and I will see you next time. Bye!